2, 3. Hello, Claudia.
Hello, Kendra. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm pretty good considering. Considering the world is such a weird place to live right now.
It is very weird. We're
Yeah.
at least in a bubble.
Yeah, definitely Jade City's in our own little bubble. Actually, we're in our own little snow globe right now because it's been doing nothing but snowing. We have feet and feet and feet of snow out in Jade City and the mountains, so everybody's been loving snowmobiling right now.
It has been great. I went out once.
You went out once. I didn't go out yet at all. But now it's supposed to go back up to +2 again, which is, I don't even remember. Last year it was -42 below zero. And this year right now we're sitting at around 6. And we're supposed to go to +2. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be a sheet of ice.
It is going to be a sheet of ice again, especially if it does end up going over to 40 below zero. Then it's going to be even more problematic.
Yeah.
But we're clean, we're safe. We can walk around outside, and we don't have to sort of quarantine in the way that a lot of the rest of the world does in the cities, right?
Yep, definitely. You have lots of people saying hello. You have Leanna, Caitlin, James, Fritzy. Fritzy said Vancouver Island is raining.
Yeah, I heard that Prince Rupert, that whole Prince Rupert area is really, really being bombarded by rain. So it's starting, that front is starting back up again. Maybe we're going to be in, like, remember 100,000 years ago when the dinosaurs were in this
I don't
area?
remember that far back. I'm not that old.
Remember?
No, you might be.
There was palm trees here, Kendra. This was like ocean, sandy ocean. So maybe it's going to become tropical again.
That would be very nice. We wouldn't have to pay to go to a beach.
Well, it's not like we can pay for the beach now.
Well, we could. We might be paying the ultimate price.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's true.
You have lots of people still saying hello and joining you for your live video today. Like Coco and Anne and Lana, Snow and Nelson, a whole bunch of people.
Okay, so let's start talking about something important. Let's start talking about jade and jade mining and 2021 and what we're trying to do looking to the future. It's difficult. It's difficult for a lot of people. We definitely didn't get to be with our family this Christmas. We had to cancel a lot of things. We definitely got to spend some time with the people in our community that are definitely in a little bit of a bubble. You and me,
Yeah,
Robin.
the three of us.
Yeah, your boyfriend.
5 of us.
Jessica. So it's difficult. It's difficult what to do going forward with businesses, with the mining, and with the jade store. And I think that we've been really discussing about how do we go forward without being able to get the inventory that we're used to being able to get. I mean, right now I would be traveling. I'm looking at all my old Facebook pictures and all my pictures. I'm not at home in January. I'm on the road designing jade. We're doing things with designers in New Zealand, in Taiwan, in China, in Vietnam. And these places were crucial for me to go every year so that the designs could continue. And we can't do that now. So we're doing as much as we can on Facebook and on FaceTime and on, what else are we using, Kendra? On
Zoom, online shopping.
Yeah, we're using that other one. What's that one? WeChat, we're doing lots of
WhatsApp.
I mean, we're hooked up to everything and everything that we need to be hooked up with to be able to communicate with the people that can keep my business going, whether it's buying our raw jade, whether it's doing the TV show, and whether it's doing our store. It's tough. But we've made a few decisions moving forward that we feel will be better for us. We're going to start a new thing that is called Made in Canada, Stayed in Canada. And the whole concept of that is that we are going to try to keep all the components that we need to have made to create products in Jade City Canadian, so that we are not struggling trying to find silversmiths and goldsmiths and jewelry makers, all the things that we need to be able to continue to do what we do, we're going to try to find in Canada. That's really going to be difficult because Canada, we're not a real easy access to some of the things that we use all the time. So definitely we're going to start with that. And some of the things that we've started in the last little bit with experimenting with to see what we can physically finish from beginning to end here in Jade City without bringing in carvers or without depending on factories that I've depended on for 40 years. My family's been doing this for over 50 years. So we have people that we can depend on all over the world. But with everything that's going on, a lot of these factories are shut down. They're on 1 or 2 days working only. It's become really difficult to get parts and pieces that we need to manufacture ourselves. So, made in Canada, stays in Canada, is something we're going to try, and then we will be able to sell all over the world and not deplete our inventory down to nothing. One of the things that we have that we can do here, and that we've designed years and years ago, that my dad designed, one of the very first products. So the glue is good, Kendra. We had to test our glue because all the glue that we're using, because it's been so cold, is not working properly. So anyway, the glue is good.
I was going to say, that looks pretty sticky.
Yeah, and the big thing that people ask me all the time is, what kind of glue can you use to glue jade? Or what can you laminate the jade? These are the questions that we have. So what I'm going to try to do is at least answer a couple of questions on every time that we do something with these videos. And one of the biggest things is, how do you fix a piece once it gets home? So my dad designed this 40 years ago, right when Jade City first started. He went to Quartzsite. Anybody who's in the rock industry knows Quartzsite, Arizona, the open market. People used to go there to, where was the original one? Quartzsite, Arizona, and then it was Tucson, Arizona for the gem show.
Yeah.
And now it's mostly in Tucson, but they're still doing it at Quartzsite too.
I think it's still a big show just before the Tucson one.
Is it? And I think it used to go all winter long. Like, it literally was like a 4-month thing where hundreds of thousands of motorhomes all converged, and they brought in stones and everything from all over the world. It's great. Like, it's an amazing place to go. So I started going about 10 years ago. My dad went 40 years ago. And what my dad would do is he would get
I'm just going to zoom in, Claudia, on the
semi-loads of amethyst. And he decided 40-some years ago that the green and the purple was a perfect match. And my dad then decided that he would do the bears on the amethyst and created these great bears on amethyst. They're now being done by major manufacturers, have taken this over. It's become a big Canadian thing. It's a way of presenting the jade bear, which is, of course, our most popular piece in the stores, our 1-inch jade bears. We sell thousands of these a season.
And dice.
Maybe not 2020 thousands, but...
No, not 2021 either.
And 2021 ain't looking good for thousands either. I don't know if people know, but we were getting, 500 people, 700 people a day in the store. We're selling a lot of 1-inch bears. So my dad glued them on the amethyst with like a 2-part epoxy. So what we found, and over the years we've tried lots of different things, everybody has their favorite way of gluing things on. We have always stuck with the 2-part epoxy. We can control how much we make. It lasts a lot longer. We put the 2 parts together, the hardener and the resin, and that worked great for us, for what we're doing. Everybody has their own way of doing this, but the 2-part epoxy is really good. It hardens. You mix it, and it's very quick. It's usually 5-minute epoxy that we use, but this one, I don't know what this one was, but it didn't take much more than 5-10 minutes to start to harden. So I think it's just the same thing, speed set. So it's a speed set, so 5-minute epoxy.
And we usually, when we make them, it sets in 5, but we let them sit for about 10 hours before we sell them.
Yeah, that's right. So you want them to harden. You want it to set so that things can't move around and you're not holding the bear on so that it doesn't move. So we just play around. We decide where we're gonna put the bear on it, how it's gonna fit. We play around with that first. Decide how the bear is gonna look and which way the amethyst is gonna face, and then we start gluing them. And we glue thousands of these, right, Kendra?
Yes, I have glued many of my fair share in my days.
And then we try, but you know who's the best one at doing this, and who can do like 1,000?
Well, I could, but I don't.
But who does other than you? Who does?
Your dad.
Yeah, my dad. So my dad, he loves this. He will set out hundreds, and he will do them all. It's like he's in his happy place doing his designs. The other thing that my dad designed years ago, which was really huge, was they were almost the size of this table. They were like a 2 foot by a foot slabs of jade. So he would take it, the boulders, whatever shape it was, he would cut them, the smaller ones. He cut them about 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick, and then he would make with all of the jade that was not the best jade, or that had imperfections in it, or if it lost a leg. My dad would create these huge scenes, beautiful scenes of like whales coming out of the water, and the wolves looking down over the mountains, and billy goats, and bears, and little Eskimo villages. And my dad loves doing that kind of stuff, and he did hundreds of them. He sold a lot of them to the States for museums and big houses, because it was big. They were really big, 2-3 feet. We tried making one, Kendra. How did that work for us?
I think it worked pretty good. We've done a few. Eddie did one that we epoxied and sold within a week.
Yeah.
So we've done a few.
It's not easy though, is it?
No.
You would think it would be really easy, like you pour resin, you put all your things in it. Not so easy.
The resin bubbles.
The resin bubbles.
And not the same resin you use for the 2-part epoxy.
No, so we have a 2-part resin, and that you pour over it, so it really gives it that sheen, beautiful look. Not so easy. Everything I thought that my dad did that was easy is not so
Maybe
easy.
we should send your dad a bunch of supplies and get him working.
Yeah.
He's just sitting around, yeah.
Yeah, since he's just sitting around, not doing anything.
Putting his feet up, foot up.
Good. My dad's doing good. Lost his leg, but he's still doing good. A little frustrated because he can't be on his boat. He has a boat. He loves boating. He has a big boat that he loves to be on the ocean with. And he loves fishing. But that's not in the cards for him right now. He did get a brand new wheelchair, so he's excited about the wheelchair. They gave him an option of hot red or black. My dad went with black. Didn't want to have hot red. And no, he's doing really good. So
show them what your dad was making. You should show them the process.
Do it?
Yep. Please. We have a customer who's wanting one, so you can make their special one.
Oh, okay. But then they got to pick their special piece of amethyst. Then we got to pick a really good piece of amethyst.
I don't think they're on here yet, but...
Okay. let me pick a nice bright
It's
purple.
going to the U.S.
Okay, a bright purple one. So how about there, Kendra? So
I think that looks great.
Figure out how you want it first, because you don't really have a lot of time to sort of play with this. And now, Kendra, you're going to get me squeezing this stuff. You got to use a lot of might for this, especially this one. And then you got to make the exact same amount. If you do not make the exact same amount, this will not work.
That looks a little taller.
Well, it's...
I'm just kidding.
Funny, it's a little taller, but it's not as wide as the last one. So let me start with a fresh.
So you have lots of people saying hi. Linda, Barbara, Mary.
Hi everybody. I hope you guys are all getting through this this lull after Christmas and New Year's. It's really a weird kind of a lull, isn't it, Kendra?
It's a little bit of a lot. It's usually pretty quiet this time of year, but we have Marty who's asking if he were to come to visit for a week, where do we suggest he stays? And near us, question mark?
Well, he would have to quarantine first.
If he's staying.
If he's staying. So if he comes into the area, we still do quarantining because it's such a small community. So he could definitely stay in one of the hotel rooms in quarantine. He just can't socialize with us. And what we're doing is talking to people outside with our masks on and full social distancing of 6 to 10 feet.
But This summer, do you think? This summer we have our hotel rooms going in
This
our
summer, yeah,
Airbnb.
if it's in the near future, that's what we would have to do. But this summer, we don't even know what's going to happen this summer, Kendra.
Peter says he misses you guys and he misses hitchhiking out of Boulder.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
We love Boulder, yeah. And we don't get hitchhikers out there very often.
They're few and far between, huh?
They're few and far between. Make sure you mix this really well. This is the most important thing because the worst thing that happens is it hasn't mixed so that hardener cannot work properly. And it becomes this goopy, really greasy, oily thing that never hardens. So you have to really, really, really stir it. And then what we do is we put it on all 4 paws. And you're now going to be able to know that this is not my job. This is my dad's and Kendra's and everybody else's job but mine because I don't have patience for this. I can do a few. But
you haven't learned the shortcut, Claudia. You just dip the bear in the glue.
Well, that's not how my dad used to do it, Kendra.
That's how your dad does it now.
Does he do that now too?
Oh yeah, he cheats.
Oh, he cheats. We used to do every single paw. So I think we're gonna do some of these, Kendra, because we have quite a few of the amethyst and quite a few of the jade pieces. I think we're gonna do a sale on these, are we?
Yes, I think we're going to sell them. They're normally $30 each, and we're going to sell them for $25 each for 1 week.
$25, 1 week. Beautiful amethyst from Uruguay, and it's our jade. So our jade bears. The bears are carved in 5 different countries, just so that you guys know that they're not all carved in one country. Because we've had to make so many of them, we've needed to have other countries help us with making them. And we're always trying to teach other countries to make the bears because we go through so many. It takes hundreds of people to make these. Do you know that you can only make 3 of these in 1 day?
3.
3 of them in 1 day from start to finish.
Could do 3 in 1 year, maybe.
Me, 1 a year I might be able to do if they taught me for a year. But, yeah, I'm not a carver. Never have said I was a carver. Hardly ever go in the carving shed because I believe that the people that do it the best should just continue to do it. And we've had some amazing carvers here in Jade City, hey Kendra? And carvers that have sent us things from all over the world.
Yes, we have had some amazing carvers, and we also have someone who was learning how to carve jade and has now done a few pieces. Do you want to show a few of those pieces up?
Yes.
What Jojo has done?
Yeah. So we have a guy that's been working for us for 10 years called Jojo. His name is actually Joffrey, and he's Filipino, and we love him. And this year, he, without permission, and if we would have known 10 years ago, he would be in their lots. He decided that while I was gone, that he would go and do a little bit of carving. So he's just going into practice. So he comes out with this.
A leaf?
A leaf. It's gorgeous. And then another leaf. It's beautiful. These are not easy to make. Then we got an order to do mortar and pestle. And he said, let me try it. So some really cheap black jade that really isn't good for carving, a little bit too cracked, whatever. He decided that he's going to make this just on his own. So he made this. So I tried. I did garlic in here. It works perfect. Then he decides to upgrade himself a little bit. And he decides to do one of these. This is just a guy that went into the shed that's been with me for 10 years, that does my landscaping and cutting jade and everything else for me, all my construction. Never did I know that he could do this. So he did this. He didn't just do that. He made the little base for it. He made a little hole in here. He finished it all off with a whole design with a base. Then, just to show what he could really do, he does this one, which is amazing. And the only thing he says is, please, Auntie Claudia, don't sell it. His first piece. So yeah, so that's Joe. So I think Joe is going to be spending some time in the carving shed. Hey, Kendra, when the snow goes?
I think so. I think he'll be doing the products that we already do
Yep.
here on site,
Yep.
such as the coasters and
So these are the
sun
coasters.
catchers, door stops,
Yep.
the flat pieces
stops.
for our Christmas ornaments and our magnets.
Yep.
Do you want to
All
show
of
a
our
magnet?
magnets, all of these kind of things.
So we do those, and then he'll probably get a lot more creative and start doing pendants and different things like what Cameron did, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And we have, and I do know that Cameron's in Australia right now working on some really special products for us as well. The problem is that it's taking months to get anything right now. It's difficult. Ocean travel is difficult. I'm trying to get some things that I've designed years ago from China. I'm trying to get that. It's very difficult to get it on ocean shipments. Yeah, I don't know what the future looks like, but I think that we're going to do as much as we can here, and people like Joe and Canadian Carvers hopefully are going to give us a hand. The other thing that I was going to say about the carving was what, Kendra?
About the carving.
I was just going to say something about the carvings and we are then, because Joe's going to probably be doing a lot more of this, we are then going to need some help with doing the work around Jade City. And I think that we're going to be putting out some job postings to help us definitely with some of the construction that we need help with, the landscaping in Jade City, the cutting of rock outside the large boulders that need to be cut in Jade City. And I think we're going to look for somebody to help us with the computer. I think we're going to need to have a new marketing strategy and need some help with the computer and revamp our whole idea of online sale items rather than have the store open. We don't know what this season is going to look like, but if you are out there and you think that this is something for somebody, we're looking at people that want to actually live here, I think, and not just come to work for a couple months, even though I think that's fine. But I think it has to be from Canada, preferably close in this area, so they don't have to do the quarantine, but they may have to. But we're looking to make our community larger so that we have more people here that can take care of each other and sort of fill in the gaps. What do you think, Kendra? We'll put it on a job posting on there.
Yeah, we can put the job posting on soon. We'll have it completed. Polly Paul says Class 1 driver's license, BC camp ready to relocate. We don't need a driver.
We don't need any more drivers. Yeah, we have Joshua has his Class 1, Robin has his Class 1, Gary has his Class 1, Guy has his Class 1. We have a lot of drivers. Jessica's a driver. Alex is a driver.
But trade, gold, and silver miner, 30 years exploration experience as well as Class 1.
Oh, okay.
Well, you never know.
We need to have somebody who really wants to be a part of a community and wants to stay and wants to, help develop and live a simpler life. It is much simpler up here. We have a lot more fun. It is a lot simpler, but it's not for everybody to be up here. We do have 8 months of snow, so there's a lot of indoor things that are being done that are to be repaired, work that has to be done, mechanical, and it would be nice to create the shop, the Jade Shop, it's not going to be nice, we have to create the Jade Shop to be usable year-round, Kendra. I think this summer we're going to be doing a lot of revamping on the carving shed so that it can be a year-round project. Projects can be done in there. So yeah, there's going to be some big changes in Jade City this summer, and we're hoping to be a part of that change of the whole dynamic of what Jade City looks like.
And maybe say a little bit about what's in Jade City, because we have somebody who's asking if there's nursing jobs here as well.
Oh, okay. Jade City is 30 to 50 people. We're the main hub. A nurse is me and Robin are getting older, so if we need to have
personal nurses.
A personal nurse would be great. We do have a couple of families with children. So children would definitely be great. The youngest child in Jade City right now is Gideon, eh? And Gideon is like 9.
Yeah.
So that's the youngest child we have here right now is a 9-year-old, and we do a lot of community things and baking for Christmas, and the kids all work in the store here at different times, and they've learned to, one of them is in the film industry now, one of them is a great carver, and he's only 17, so we have the children that are growing up as well, so I really would like to see not just people that are all ready to retire, which is nothing wrong with that, but we would love to see some younger families want to come back here. So we have a Department of Highways and my store are the main businesses. We definitely have gold miners in the area, so definitely there's jobs in the cooking industry in the summer.
And first aid at the mining camps.
First aid is huge, level 3 first aid, which is a necessity now, so we're always looking for that. And in the summer, we're always looking for cooks. Yeah, so those are the kinds of things that we're looking for, laborers that can work for me, but people that want to develop their own thing here too as well would be great. But definitely it's limited of what's available and housing, what's available. But I have 13 places to live here, Kendra. It's time to start to fill those places other than just in the summertime.
I was going to say, we do pretty good during the summer.
In
Ray
the
Richard
summer?
said the bags of jade were a huge hit at Christmas. I'm glad to hear that. They took a long time to fill. We had very many bags to fill.
Yeah, Kendra made me fill those bags for everybody. And now I think that I need to design a really, really, really good rock tumbler. So that's probably the next thing on my thing is to design a really good rock tumbler. So we can have the kids not only tumbling jade, and then maybe creating things in jade, and maybe making pendants out of them, and just keeping their artistic abilities going, but also picking up rocks on the road, picking up agates and tumbling them. That's what I did. That's how I got into this. It didn't help that my dad was a jade miner and was in the gold industry as well. But yeah, that's what fueled my love of all of this.
Cool. Peter said he can cook Budweiser.
Oh yeah.
Robin would be happy.
I have a lot of like.
No, you have a lot of people that can drink Budweiser.
That's true. That's true. And wine. If he could cook wine, that'd be great too.
Cook with wine.
Yeah, no, cook wine. We need some wine. We need beer. We need a distillery here.
So do you have any plans for your next Coffee with Claudia? Is this going to become weekly again?
I think
or bi-weekly? Or...
Well, bi-weekly is pushing it, Kendra. Because I
Okay.
have a hard enough time doing this once a week, getting myself organized.
No, bi-weekly is every other week.
Okay, so I think that bi-weekly 2 times in 1 week. So I think if we do this once a week, for at least for January, by then we'll figure out what we're going to be doing and where we're going to be going, whether we're getting ready for mining or whether we're getting, doing the show again or not.
Hold on, one thing interesting. Steven says, I have a plan to tumble a 1-ton jade boulder.
Wow, I hope that you're going to videotape tumbling a 1-ton jade boulder.
That would be very cool to see.
I don't even know how you would even remotely do that, but I can envision something, so that would be really cool. You videotape it, and I'll share it with everybody who follows us, for sure.
And
For sure.
do you know what kind of topics, or should we have our viewers send in topics that they want to hear about?
I think that you guys should let me know. Like, I know some of the questions over the last 40 years would have been asked, and I can do some things, and I can share some techniques with you guys as time goes along. But remember that we are still in the middle of winter here. We still have a lot of months before the snow goes. So as much as we'd like to plan for the future this summer and everything, we're still doing things indoor. But by February and March, it's going to be really crazy for us because we're either going to be full force just doing Jade City, or we'll be doing the show, or we'll be doing some new adventures that we've been asked to join in on. But right now, everything is in the air.
Okay, and before we go, Jessica Johansson says, what does tumbling a rock mean?
So tumbling a rock means that you put it in a little bit of a solution that takes all the hardness out of the rock, and it goes from being a very raw rock to something with more circular, smoother edges. And then you can even go right into the process of polishing it in the tumbler as well. So it's a process of going from raw to a polished piece, just giving it a bit of a smoother edge. That's
Perfect.
what tumbling a rock is. So a 2-ton boulder is pretty crazy.
A 1 ton
2,000
boulder.
pounds, yeah.
That would be really cool.
That's crazy.
And you have 43 people viewing you right now, or listening right now.
Cool.
You want to...
And we usually go to 2,000 to 3,000 once they share it with Jade Fever. So for all the Jade Fever fans, the Jade City fans, we thank you. We thank you for watching and supporting us and just being there with us through this craziness. Thank you so much. From my family to yours, Happy New Year.